Hey, you're listening to WUSC-FM in HD1 Columbia. This is Kodak, Slack, and DJ Manny here with Jeff and Jessica from Prettier Than Matt to talk about their new album that they're coming out with, and just their band. So, how are you guys today?
Good.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Yeah, I didn't expect to be here myself, so I was like, I can do this too. Why not? We don't have to be in the same room. So I was like, we can do this. Yeah.
Well, it's great that you guys both could make it. Can you talk about your album, just like the process of how it came to be?
You can go, Jess, on that one.
I was going to pass it on to you, Jeff. So this album originally was supposed to be released last year in 2020 as part of a big 10-year celebration of Prettier Than Matt. We started in 2010, and it was going to kind of be like a huge, little icing on the cake kind of thing. But then, of course, 2020 happened, and that put our release a little behind. But we kind of took advantage of the time that we had because we were on lockdown, a lot of it. And we started tweaking more songs, and we actually, I think, ended up with a better product than we would have had in 2020. I don't know if like Jeff might agree with me on that. We were able to take more time with it and really, really focus with our producer, Kenny McWilliams. So, yeah.
Yeah, we usually every record we've done so far has been like a moment in time, this 1 month of this year. And this time we did from May until December, we recorded it, which we've never taken that much time or that much money to do an album. But I saw the money, numbers. I was like, oh my God, we're in debt for life. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's worth it. And it was pretty cool to also treat each song. Usually we try to make everything kind of cohesive. We didn't really do that. We just made each song be its own thing, and then tried to organize the track list the best we could with what we had. So it was pretty fun. I want to do it again, actually. I hate being done with records, actually. I like making them. So
yeah, that's great.
How was the actual recording process, in studio and everything, different during COVID times?
Well, we didn't really. I mean, we had a drummer come and he wore a mask, things like that, But with Kenny, we saw him. I guess the first time we saw him was last May, and it was for one day. And we had a discussion before we went in there about what we're going to do. And he had all the cleaning stuff, everything sanitized and all that. And we didn't. And me and Jeff are around each other all the time anyway. We streamed twice a week, and we wrote a lot, so we were always around each other anyway. So
our circles were very, very small.
Yeah, we had a very small little can't say we're family, but we pretty much are. You know what I mean? Because we're always around each other. So it was different though because scheduling was a little different with him and how he was planning, and he would have to cancel some days, and we'd have to not studio days. We had to cancel stuff as well, and but I think that for us, the quarantine and COVID just made it different in terms of how we were able to spend time on it, I guess, more than the actual recording process, because it wasn't that different for me and her because we don't really have a full band typically or anything. So,
I mean, and luckily with Kenny's studio, the way it's set up, it is easy for us to be spread out, and have space between us and whatnot. So, yeah, it was interesting, but not anything too crazy different.
Right.
Recording, yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Have you guys performed any since COVID, May or March last year?
Our first public performance was it June, Jeff?
May 31st.
That's right. Yeah, it was the very end.
I wanted someone to say, there's not 31 days in May. I wanted someone to say that real quick. I was like, wait. No, last day of May, we did our first show, and typically we, I say typically because people also start peopling again, you get together and everyone starts, they're doing what they're supposed to do. They all start, mingling, and you're like, well, this is uncomfortable. And we definitely had uncomfortable moments, but we did play. We just were pretty strict on where we played. We didn't do any close quarter indoor stuff. Outside kind of had to deal with a lot of weather issues and stuff, but we did play, not as much as normal. And we streamed a lot more, live streamed a lot more. So.
Gotcha.
It's so hard to explain that.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I try.
Could you guys talk a little bit about the title of the album? I'm pretty sure it's called Colors, correct?
Yes.
Where did that come from?
It's a lot of different things, but I think specifically we decided on that title because of one of our songs. It's called Flower in the Sidewalk. And a line in that song, it's just basic. It is simply a song about a flower that's like grows into the crack in the sidewalk. It's like super, super simple, but kind of symbolic. And one of the lines in the song says, I let my colors show. Like flowers blooming, I let my colors show. And we felt like we kind of took it from that, and we feel like this whole album deals with so many range of emotions. There's a song about my husband on there. There's, a song about my dog. There's, some sad songs about some unfortunate things that happened in Jeff's life in 2019 and into 2020. And so it's a big range of emotion and just showing our colors.
Yeah, and this sounds weird, but I never told Jess this, but I was stacking my Mariah Carey vinyl collection, and she has an album called Emotions, and I was like, this record is kind of like that. And I also thought when I heard that song, the lyric "Let My Colors Show," I was like, colors mean somewhat of being yourself and showing who you are, but emotions as well. So that's kind of where it came from in my head, was like Mariah Carey influence. Just wouldn't tell her that.
I would like it to be on record that Jeff is wearing a Bon Jovi shirt, and he has Metallica everything and loves metal and hair 80s stuff, but he definitely has his fair share of Mariah Carey
jams
stuff and knows a lot of Mariah Carey songs.
I love that.
Very proud of that.
It's awesome. I think it's great.
Who are some other like artists that have inspired you guys to make music? I know that you just said he loves Mariah Carey, but kind of on like the making music side of it, who do you kind of like look up to?
As far as the indie artist side of it, meaning that we're independent, we're not signed to a label. I look up to Ingrid Michaelson a lot. She's done it all on her own. I don't know how she's doing like specifically these days. She's gone through a lot of changes over the years, but she's been a huge inspiration to me personally because, well, she plays the ukulele and sings, and I feel like a lot of my writing style sort of comes from her. And then of course there are like the older inspirations, like the Stevie Nicks, and like my singing style, like Bonnie Raitt and the soulful singers, Lake Street Dive, a lot of lady singers. Bands like that. Those are some of my inspirations for sure.
And I love on the indie side of things, Butch Walker a lot too. He's oh yeah. I mean, he's had major label and indie label, but he's pretty much like a lot of musicians' favorite artist. But it doesn't seem people know who he is outside of the music world. But he's fantastic. So, my personal, yeah.
So, how did Prettier Than Matt get started? What's the story of your origin?
Not it.
I answered first. That's actually an ongoing joke with us. Like, who's Matt? And basically, if I'm at the mall, I answer to the name Matt now. If anyone says that, I'm like, oh, it's not talking to me. Okay, I'll say it, Jess. That's fine. I was in a band called was still in a band called De-Leveled, and our bassist name was Matt. And around 2009ish or so, we did a lot more acoustic stuff. It was just me and the bass player Matt. And when I met Jessica, we thought that I've listened to a lot of She and Him and Alison Krauss, Robert Plant, like these guy girl duo things. And so I wanted that too. And I had already recorded with a person named Robin, and she was great, but she really wasn't kind of into doing anything other than that day in the studio kind of a thing. And so I met Jessica and randomly one night, and I said, "Do you want to come sit in with the band?" She said yes. And then we ended up playing duo shows.
At Wet Willie's in downtown Columbia.
Yeah, that's where we met, Wet Willie's. Yeah. And we met, I guess we were playing a place called Kelly's, no longer around, an open mic night. And our buddy Jeremy was going to book us for our first show. We had a band name. We went through band names. We could never come up with something because nothing sounded good to me or her. And he randomly said, "She's prettier than Matt." And we just were like, I know, right? And it was like a joke meaning her to Matt. And Matt's not, as Jess says, Matt's not ugly. We're just prettier than Matt. I don't know how to especially as I'm old now, so maybe not anymore. But, it's just kind of a fun name that started off as kind of haha, but now we're kind of stuck with it. Not in a bad, it's kind of cool. I mean, we sell a lot of shirts to people who are married to Matt's brother's Matt. People just buy the shirts and we're like, yeah, we'll keep
people who like Better Than Ezra or something, the blank.
Yeah. And so it's pretty cool. I mean, the name works for me, and people call us PTM, and I dig it. So, but that's how we started, just kind of like a side project. And then now the full band's a side project. And this is more of what we'll be doing for quite a while now as a full-time job. And we dig it.
How did you get into music in general? Were your families like musical, or is it something you just kind of stumbled upon?
I started out, I've been singing since I was like 4 or 5 years old. I grew up singing in church, did a lot of like, children's plays and stuff like that. Church, not like actual children's theater, because I'm a terrible actor. I can't do any of that stuff. I envy anyone who can. But yeah, I did that, and grew up taking piano lessons and stuff like that, and just sang all through my childhood and coming up. I was in band. I was a huge marching band nerd. Wanted to be a band director when I grew up, and like super nerdy competition stuff. And I went to college for music. Got a bachelor's degree in vocal studies. Vocal studies and like piano as a secondary. And had no idea what I was going to do when I left college. I just wanted to do music. And that's when I moved to Columbia. And about 6 months after, 6 to 8 months, I guess, after I moved here, while working at Best Buy, I was out, seeing a fellow, hanging out with some Best Buy friends, and met up with Jeff. And then he was like, you can play music in bars and stuff, which I didn't grow up going to restaurants that had live music. I didn't know that was a thing. And I'd been given a ukulele in college from a boyfriend at the time, and then piddled around with it. And then, I met Jeff, and he was like, hey, I'll play guitar and you can play ukulele. And he was teaching me stuff on the ukulele. Oh, okay, cool. And then we just started playing, and it's just been, that way ever since. It's pretty fun.
And I was straight up like an MTV kid. I mean, I stayed up from school, like it was the 80s. I'm 41. And so when I was in elementary school, my parents went to work before I went to school. So I sometimes tell my friend, don't come pick me up, I'm staying home today, which I would get in trouble for every day. But back then, like 7 hours before they got home seemed like forever. So I'd be like, I'm good for, I got a while to worry about a plan. But I'd watch MTV, and I remember just all day watching it, wanting to play. And eventually my friend got a guitar, and I traded Super Nintendo games daily to borrow his guitar overnight. Eventually I was out of games, so I had no way to have a guitar anymore. So my aunt gave me this acoustic 12-string, which was impossible to be your first own guitar. But I did that, and ever since I've just been obsessed with guitar playing. And then it was just I wanted to be like a metal guy and play lead guitar for some band. But I ended up moving into this, like I said, about 2010-ish, and actually like the acoustic stuff. That's how I personally write. I don't write heavy, dark. Well, I mean, dark into my mood. You know what I mean? They're not like angry music. I'm more like just. I heard James Blunt one time on SNL. I was like, that's the kind of music I write, man. That's what I do. Oh well. So I've rolled with it ever since. So yeah.
So what is the music scene like in Columbia? Like, are you guys like buddies with any of the other kind of local artists?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. We're a lot of the people, the first duo that comes to mind is Post Timey String Band. I mean, they're still kind of milling around, but then that whole, like the two of them, Sean Thompson and Kelly McLaughlin, Kelly McLaughlin and Porterfield, I can't think of her name. And
she's had like two. Yeah, she changed it. So
yeah. So anyway, so they've become friends of ours. Like they started almost like the exact same year that we did. So we came up together. I say up, like we have progressed together through open mic nights. There was a time when I personally was at an open mic night Monday night, Tuesday night, and Wednesday night every single week. So we got to know a lot of musicians around town. Like, we're definitely good friends with several, and regional too. We've got musician friends at the Myrtle Beach, and people who we've connected with, in Augusta and Aiken and stuff like that. So it's been really cool to kind of have a little network of the people that we like.
And I think I found y'all. I mean, I didn't find you. I knew what WSC was, but I thought about the interview through seeing Paisley's post on Facebook, and so and I had a friend that was like, she used to work for WSC like 1996, and she was like, you should get on there. And I was like, okay, let's do it. That'd be fun, because I did it like 06. I was on a radio interview there for the band I was in, and so. But yeah, the scene here, I mean, it's pretty tight knit, and we're kind of lucky to be friends with a lot of the freeway music people, but which ranges like crazy from styles of music. But also we're in with the cover artist and the original artist, which is kind of cool for us because, you know, you always depend on someone to help write and play and come in the studio and record with us who's not in our band and stuff like that. So yeah, it's cool. I love Jeff Gregory's stuff and Kayla Freilich and yeah, so
That's
yeah,
awesome.
love the town.
Yeah.
So what is your writing process like? I know you said sometimes you have people come in and maybe help with that. Do you kind of write individually and come together, or is it kind of always a together thing? How do you go about that?
A lot of times it's it's just we do a little bit, you know, on our own and then come together. Sometimes, I mean, it varies from song to song. Sometimes, you know, Jeff will come up with, you know, some sort of riff or a chord progression or whatnot, and I'll come up with lyrics to go over it, you know, or vice versa. You know, if I write lyrics, if I'm singing a song, I probably wrote all those lyrics, and, you know, and then Jeff helps with like chord progressions and the bridge should go here and whatnot. You know, and then there's some songs like, there's one in particular from one of our old CDs called I Spilled My Drink, and I did nothing except add melodica to it, and I think maybe play ukulele, but Jeff wrote all that. So it just varies. I don't know, Jeff, if you want to add to that, but.
Yeah, we don't have a process necessarily because, I mean, this actually album kicked off with a poem Jess wrote in like 2012-ish, right? 12-ish. And we were one day, there was a project, it's a thing called Folks Foundation in North Carolina. And they were putting out a vinyl to support artists who weren't really playing live at the moment. And so the band Admiral Radio suggested us to them because it was all guy-girl duos. And so we had to write a song like by Tuesday, kind of a thing where, okay, we need a new song. And so we went to Jessica's house and she looked through her notebook and found this song or this poem, and then we turned it into a song, and that's how it started. But that's like probably the only time we've turned a set of lyrics into a song, I think, like that. Because the way I write is music, then I just sing something random over top of it and then end up correcting the lyrics later. But yeah, I mean, we help each other out, and we also credit everything 50-50 on the records. But each song has a different level of involvement from each of us, but we're all a part of all of it in some way, shape, or form. You know, and it's fun. I'm always the stressful one, and I'm like, we have to finish this by like next week, or we're just screwed. And it always works out, but I'm always just like, yeah, no,
I have known to write verses in the studio, and, you know, like okay, I'll write that second verse later, and then I'm like, I couldn't think of anything. I'm sitting in the studio while Jeff's laying down guitar parts. I'm like, okay, got it. And not to say that it's any good.
Oh, they're good. They're good. And a lot of it's also, we both basically record every idea on our phones. You know, you just pop up and like throw the voice recorder on and just start playing something. And then it's time to write. We go, I scroll back and look for like 2 years. I listen to everything. And I'm like, I like that one. I like that one. I like that one. So it's cool. No specific process. And
a lot of quilting. Just quilt the songs together, just stitch them.
Yeah, because I always try to do a title first. I've always been that way, but it only worked like once or twice, where the title that I came up with became a song. So it's like, yeah.
I feel like that would be so difficult to just like pick a few words and then make a whole song off of those few words.
Well, yeah, I had on the last record we did, I had I remember this is like 10 years ago. I was in the office. I used to work as an engineer, and I wrote down 2 titles, Even Still and Hard to Get, were 2 titles I thought were cool titles. Because Hard to Get has like a, you know, it sounds like hard to get. It was like an idea. And then that became a song in 2017, finally, after like I came with the title in 2008-ish.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's kind of fun. I enjoy like different kinds of challenges in writing. And also if we write.
One aspect of life where being a pack rat and being someone who saves everything comes in handy, because you never know when you might use it again, pull it out and you know, polish it up.
I have a shoebox of like 15 notebooks in my room and like old tape recorders. It's got so many ideas on it that I'd love to actually go through and listen to, but I don't really have access to a good tape player, you know? So it's like, oh, well, what are you going to do? They do. I say at Best Buy, like $30, man. It's like $30 for a tape player. Who buys that? I don't know. I mean, I guess someone does. They wouldn't have it, right? So I don't know.
Hey, vintage is back in style now, so.
I have a hard time with cassettes. Yeah, we do sell cassette tapes and vinyl, and
And the best part about it is like little kids, and I mean like not even little kids, like 10 and like 12-year-olds coming up to our merch table and picking it up and like looking at
It's
it.
big.
The parents are like, you open it and then you take this out. Yeah, it's really funny.
Well, I always feel that the kids think it's a pack of cigarettes and a calendar. That's why I always fear they think the vinyl and the like this, because they're
Yeah, the vinyls. I think the vinyl's a calendar.
Even CDs though. I mean, kids often don't know what those are either, which that feels still recent to me, but I guess it's not anymore. But it's still. And props to y'all for doing CDs as the way you play the music. By the way, that's awesome.
It's a lot. There's like an entire room.
You should, yeah. Our music library is like
huge.
Yeah, we have like bookshelves pretty much, and they're like double stacked. So everything on the surface, there's stuff behind it too, just from the years of like getting people mailing stuff in. It's kind
I
of.
imagine like, do y'all still get like the unsolicited demo kind of stuff? Do people still send that stuff out?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
There's some weird stuff in there, some good stuff. Everything from like, you can find really cool things from like the 60s all the way up to like now. So it's kind of cool. I've definitely taken a few home with me.
You gotta think that's happened like a million times, right? I mean, it's like people have got so much from that. I mean, and I guess y'all keep it all like, forever until it's.
I mean,
sometimes you do giveaways, but for the most part, we like to pack rat everything.
Last year we went through like all of our like vinyl records, and we kept a lot of the bigger name stuff, but like I got like a Robert Plant one, and like the Rocky soundtrack, because the one
yes.
Yeah. So it's really cool though, because all of them have like the reviews from the DJs from like the 70s and the 80s and stuff, and just the stuff that they say is hilarious. No filter at all.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You guys know what Naked Ray Gun is? Anyone? It's kind of like a punk band, Naked Ray Gun. Well, my record collection's like literally right here, and I realized like I took one of their little 12 inches or whatever size that is. I don't know, but it's like an original and it's super cool. It's like colored vinyl, like light blue.
Oh, you said Naked Ray Gun?
You should definitely look them up. They're sick. Naked Ray Gun. It's a play off of the Sex Pistols, like Six Naked.
Okay.
Nice.
That's cool. Yeah, I'll look them up, because I mean, are they still a thing, or is that just like a?
No, they're like before I was born, old. Which I guess isn't that old, but
there's some that
before you were born
that I've
old.
like looked up, and they're like still making music. I'm like, how are you doing this? It's impressive. But
I sometimes think I mean, I know some people who have just flat out stopped, but I could never not be playing something. I'm not saying the same method that we do things now, but I can't imagine not putting out something some way or another, like forever. Just because, I mean, it'd be like if I was working in an office somewhere, like I feel like this is wrong. I need to be jamming somewhere. That's my word. I say jams all the time. And I mean, a lot of people do, but I'm saying, I can't help. That's like that's my word for like everything that's good. Oh, jams. And because that's all I ever want to do. I mean, watching a movie, playing guitar. I used to be on the phone, back in the day, I'd be like doodling with my friends, and they heard everything I did, and they probably hated talking to me on the phone, but sorry, it paid off in my opinion, because I'm still doing it. So
definitely, yeah. It's hard to like imagine not doing something that you're so like passionate about.
I can't, because it's not, I mean, I was, like I said, I was an engineer before, and that just felt like I was always waiting to go play the gig. We only had to get 1 gig a month back then. And I was like, I can't wait till like April 23rd. It's going to be awesome. That's all I cared about at work. And I'd go talk to my bass player who worked across the way, and like all we talked about was, what's the set list for 2 weeks from now? Let's go ahead and plan this thing out every moment between every song, and let's get this whole thing scripted.
Or checking your MySpace fan page.
Oh, yeah. MySpace. I miss it. Not really. No, I don't. Well, y'all are probably too young for MySpace, right? Yeah. That's crazy. It feels like it's so new to me still. It's like wild to think. Like there was a time before social media, and that wasn't that long ago, really.
It's hard to imagine. Ugh.
I know, but no, but we're enjoying. I mean, this whole ready to have this thing out. The CDs are coming today. You see me run from the computer. I mean, someone knocked on the door, and they have all the CDs.
Oh, they're coming today.
Yeah, but I have to sign for it, so hopefully it doesn't come with we're playing a party tonight, and hopefully it doesn't come with the party, and they're gonna take it back. But this record's been fun, and we are excited to finally put it out. and it feels like it should have been out 3 months ago. It feels like to me, but it's not. And so it's going to be cool to get it kind of off and start working on, I guess, something else. I mean, it's kind of how I am. Anyway, I'll be ready to do something else.
We were going to do a Christmas album last year and didn't get to.
That would be
So
amazing.
Yeah.
We
Record
did
that here.
before, like a 5-track little Christmas EP thing. And we've sold all of those over the last several years. And they were very well received just because like people like to buy Christmas music. So we buy the rights for these Christmas songs if they're not public domain, which a lot of the old ones are. But yeah, I think that should be our next thing, is to, not saying it will be, but it'd be kind of fun.
We discussed doing that here, like do a home recording, and then Kenny, the guy that does all of our records, would mix it for us, which we haven't done that process where we did it here and then he would mix it for us. But it'd be something to do next for sure. But also videos, we're going to do more videos for the album putting out. And because it's like our lives in May of 2019 went like two directions. She got married, my mother died.
I got engaged.
Oh, you got engaged in 2020. That's right. So you got engaged. It was like, yay, no, more. And then like kind of continued on that path for the next year probably. So my things just went.
Hello?
Oh, there. I know how to use this stuff, I swear. Something doesn't. But yeah, so anyway, I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah.
How is putting out the album different now with everything? Because you can't really do as many shows or maybe as many promotional things as you would do normally.
I mean, fortunately for us and for bands in general right now, and by right now, I mean like in the age of social media and internet, everything, and Apple Music and whatever. It's honestly not that different from the digital standpoint, because we can promote and put our, new pictures out there and all that stuff, like we're back in the day, you'd have to put flyers out or, whatever, contact. Yeah, that was Jeff. That was what he would do. But, we are planning a CD release, event. We're doing one digitally, and when our album comes out digitally next Friday, and then an in-person event at a big outdoor space. And we've at Steel Hands in Casey, which has clearly become like one of the favorites of all the places that we play, and a lot of other musicians too, because everyone can agree on it. It's like, well, if I'm gonna play gigs, I'm gonna play outside. I might as well play somewhere like this with a real stage, and it's great crowds and stuff. So yeah, I mean, like not much has changed for us. We, try to keep the conversation, about COVID. Like, if you don't feel comfortable coming out, we're not pressuring you to do that. You can stay at home. We will try to stream as much as we can. If we can stream one of our live gigs, we will gladly do it. A lot of times Wi-Fi or data doesn't want to keep up, and it always malfunctions. But, we're here. We need to work, and we're going to navigate it the best that we can. But like I said, fortunately for us and everybody else, we've got the internet, and we can, communicate with everyone via stuff like this.
And I think COVID did set up a lot of musicians to learn how to like live stream. Because I mean, as opposed to like, propping your phone up on like the couch and playing to your phone, that does work. But I think a lot of them went more all in and like use their computers and like cameras like this and stuff, and started using audio interfaces. Like, we use these things, like, when we actually do it. Like, I think it's been kind of a good learning process, because musicians are the most stubborn people often when it comes to wanting to try something different when it comes to the way they perform. Like, so many still say, no, it's not the same as performing live, and it's not the same, but it's not any better or worse in my opinion. It's just something that's different. And so we luckily though started streaming 2 years before COVID, just by chance. And so we were kind of prepared for it to happen. So all that kind of changed for us during that was, we're like, well, now we're going to shift. It used to be live shows, streaming. Now it was more like we just did more streaming, less live shows, and put the record out. This is the first time we put a record out since all this. So we just kind of kept doing what we were doing, but pushing something new. And we had a video premiere about 3 to 4 weeks ago, and we have another one premiering the same day it digitally comes out. So we're trying new things, and the whole year has been an experiment. And I think the way we're putting this record out's a little bit of experiment too, because we've also never, this stuff is so it doesn't matter, but like we used to always put a video on YouTube and then we share it to everything. Now we're like, let's put it on YouTube, also on Facebook, also on Instagram, and you get less views at each spot, but more people can see it. And we're just trying different methods. We figure this is the time to try new things. I mean, I'm pretty happy with the results so far, and I think Jessica is too. I mean,
we're even on TikTok now, which is
Hey, TikTok's really big for music right now. Like that's the top 40 chart right there, right on TikTok.
I know.
People are getting, recognition and, making a lot of money from having their songs on TikTok. It's bizarre.
It's the curated feed, I think, because what it shows you is what you want to see. So it's definitely hitting whatever target audience you have. So it's really honestly perfect for anyone trying to grow their audience. If anyone's listening and wants ideas.
Because we were thinking about the idea of her, because Jessica did a sing along with Ingrid Michaelson on TikTok, and we were thinking about putting a thing out where like whoever wants to do this try to play along with the song, and we don't know how well it would go over, but to go ahead and start treating it as if people will do it. I mean, because you have to put the content out there, and if you don't put it out there, nothing will happen, obviously. So we'd have some ideas of using TikTok other than like dogs and food. That's all our TikTok pretty much started out was, dogs and food. But now we've had a couple people do our songs, and it's been kind of fun to see, but I have a hard time getting on TikTok. Jessica says she watches it all day pretty much.
It's addicting.
It is.
It's so addicting. It's a time warp. It's so, because I like you said, it's curated, and so I mean it targets me with like married life. There's a bunch of TikToks about that, and funny dog stuff, and sassy. I don't know, just so many. Yeah.
Show me you're single without telling me you're single, or things like that. It's
things like that, or put a finger down. I'm a sucker for those, and it's pretty funny. But
I get a lot of the cat videos.
Oh, same. That's like new music and just like random videos.
Yeah, I get a lot of comedy stuff because I just love anything that's gonna make me laugh.
I think that's pretty much all of us, Jessica.
Yeah.
We all love to laugh. I was going to, maybe not.
You and I don't have the exact same sense of humor, though. I'll think something hilarious, and then you're like, okay.
All we do on tour, though, is quote Dumb and Dumber. That's actually true.
100%.
Yeah, everything we do is like over and over again. Like, what are we doing? I don't know. Dumb and Dumber quotes.
Speaking of tour, do you guys have anything kind of planned in the future, or is it still kind of too far out to see with like everything going on?
Well, we're booking weddings in October right now. So.
Yeah, we've got weddings and stuff coming up, but as far as like a tour,
nothing planned.
I mean, as far as we're going is Florida, right, Jeff?
Yeah, we got some Florida, but we're also basically Georgia. It's
basically Georgia.
They even make the joke, this is basically Georgia.
Is it Gainesville? No, Amelia Island or somewhere.
Amelia Island, Fernandina Beach.
Yeah.
And, some Boone stuff coming up, but that's about as far as we're going right now.
Gotcha. I don't think I have any more questions. Do you have anything else, Amanda?
Would you want to tell everyone just like where they can like hear your music, watch your new videos coming out, any local shows you have planned that people can come see you at? Just plug everything.
Okay, yeah, boom, boom, boom. Okay, April 10th is our CD release party, which it's almost weird saying the word CD release party in 2021. I feel like it's music release party. I don't know what to call it. We'll have download cards as well. But that's a show. What?
We're dropping it.
The album drops. That's right. That's how you say it. That's right. The album drops April 9th digitally on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Pandora. So it's on. You can pre-order now on Amazon. It's going to be everywhere April 9th. And the physical music comes out the 10th. And then we have Sister Hazel concert we're opening for June 11th.
Tickets are already on sale for that.
At Ice House Amphitheater.
And we're playing at the Crawfish Festival.
Yeah. And that's the fairgrounds now, I think, right? Is that where it is?
Yeah, that's at the fairgrounds. We only have them one stage this year. I think that's like the first weekend in May.
It's May 1st. Yeah.
May 1st. So we are, I think we're like the second or third, but you can go to Rosewood Crawfish Festival website to look that up.
But yeah, those are the bigger ones, and we our music already, that everything previously is on Spotify and all that good stuff. Any way you get your digital music, we are there. And
Where do you find your
what's that?
podcast?
What's that record store? Scratch and Spin. All of our physical records are there,
West Columbia.
vinyl and CDs. And I mean, prettythanmat.com. They still have those.
Just go prettierthanmat.com, and Jeff has been working really hard updating the website. You can find, if you click on tour, it looks a little kooky, but you can click, or just scroll down. I think like you scroll down, you can see where we're playing.
It looks kooky.
Well, if you click notify me, it looks like you're gonna, no, it's so bad, Jeff. No, if you scroll down and you click notify me, it'll tell you exactly what time we're playing and all that good stuff. So yeah, just go check out the website. Jeff's done a great job with it.
And one more thing is we stream twice a week on Twitch. So 5
Twitch
p.m.
is
Eastern
free.
time.
People don't know Twitch is free. That's the first question I get from like my friends and then like my parents and stuff is like, hey, what is that? Is it free? Do I have to download something? No, just do it.
You have to download something or go to the website on a computer. But yeah, I mean, it's cool. And we do goofy things like I'll wear a new scrunchie in my hair every day in March, which is really dumb sounding. People seem to like that kind of stuff on the internet. And then she's doing a new sticker on her face every day in April. So people like that stuff. I don't know why, but they just do. So
that's awesome. And where can our viewers follow y'all on Twitter, TikTok, Twitch,
Instagram, Facebook?
Yeah.
Pretty the Mat on Instagram. It's Pretty the Mat on Facebook.
And Twitch.
Twitter and Twitch.
Twitter's PTM Music with 2 M's because Pretty the Mat's 1 letter too long. So we had to change it. But we're pretty much on all the stuff, and usually it's just Pretty the Mat, but one thing Twitter is PTM Music. Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, thank you guys so much for doing this interview with us.
Thank you for doing it with us.
No problem. Is there anything else that you wanted our audience to know or mention?
Check out the new album. We're very proud of it.
Yeah.
So,
well, thank you so much. We will get back to the show.